Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are in the last week of August, so that means it is time to pick my September TBR. If we take a look at my August TBR, I'm currently reading The True Love Bookshop. I think once I just sit down and read this, it's not going to take me too long. The first 18 pages that I've read so far only took me maybe 10 minutes. So I think this will be a fast read once I get into it. I've been kind of busy the last couple days, so we will see how much I get read in the rest of August. With that being said, I still have 2 books left on my August TBR. I'm hoping to get to at least one more of these before the end of August, but I am going to add both of these back to my TBR shelf for picking from September, just because I can't guarantee that I'll get to them, but I am reading this one, so we will roll that over. So we'll put those back there. I also need to grab one more book. I just picked up this book today from my local youth bookstore. It's Relativity by Albert Einstein, translated by Robert W. Lawson, with an introduction by Amit Hagar. So I picked this up today for $4 at my used bookstore. I'm excited to add that to my TBR. And then a book that I will at least be reading part of in September is When Everybody Leads. This is the book for my book study group. We're just reading I think the first 2 parts of this book. I actually have to go back and look to see what we're reading, so we'll add this to my TBR there. So because September is the first month of school and I'm going to be busy, I think I'm only going to pick 4 books, plus I have When Everybody Leads that I need to get done. Another goal of mine is to get this so I don't have any books on top, but I think I'm only going to pick 4 books so I can be successful in my TBR, and I just know from the last 2 years I haven't read as many books in September. So first pick. I have 2. Okay, title starts with a vowel is my first pick. Let's take a look. Here are my 4 choices for starts with a vowel. I have The Fall of Marigolds, which would be a reread for me. I have A Man Called Ove, which is a bard book to me, and Frederick Bachman is an author I've been seeing a lot of lately online, and I've just heard so many good things about this book. I have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, which I'm really excited to read because it sounds like it's such an interesting and fun mystery, and I've been really into that genre recently. And then I also have a nonfiction book, Endurance, which is about Scott Kelly's Year in Space. It is his autobiography about that time, memoir. I'm not sure exactly what that'd be classified as, but then this would also help me with my goal of reading my nonfiction memoirs. I'm going between these 2 books, either Fall of Marigold or Endurance. I think I'm going to pick Endurance and add an autobiography memoir, whatever you want to call it, to my TBR, so then I'm reading at least 1 a month. So I'm going to just stick these on top and we'll pick our next prompt. Prompt number 2 is upside down. Fantasy book. I think I know which one I want to read for this, but I'm going to take a look just to be sure. I'm going to go with Namesake, which is the second book in the duology fable. I forget what it's called, with the Narrows, I think is the duology name. And then The Last Legacy and Saint are like companion novels to that, but I'd love to reread this one. It's fantasy. This is the second book in the duology. I read the first book in July, I think, as like a reread before I get into the companion novels. So I'm adding Namesake to my TBR for September. Okay, pick number 3. On a previous TBR. So let's take a look and see what's been on my previous TBR that I want to knock off in September. I'm going to go with A Fall of Marigolds. This was on my TBR, I think in January or February of this year, and I just love to reread this book, and I just feel like September is a very timely month to reread this book because the events in this book take place in September, both in September 1911 and in September 2011, and following the characters in that time. So I feel like September is a perfect month to read A Fall of Marigolds. Plus, I just love to dive back into this author's writing because I love it. So we're gonna add that one to the September TBR. There, you can see that better. And I think maybe we'll pick one more, and then we'll decide maybe we'll pick a 5th book, because I do like to have options, but I also don't want to overwhelm myself because I know September is going to be a very busy month for me. So let's pick our last, maybe last. I'll pick 5. I changed my mind. Historical fiction. I think I know which one I'm going to pick for this, because I think I only have one for historical fiction, but let me check. This doesn't necessarily fit this prompt. It is historical, but it's not necessarily fiction. It is based on real people during World War II, some zookeepers in Poland. But this is a book that has been on my TBR for a really long time, and I'd really like to read it. So I am actually going to put The Zookeeper's Wife on to my TBR. Plus, it helps me with a couple of my challenges that I'm doing this year. I'm doing the alphabet challenge, so I haven't necessarily been counting books that start with like the and of before them, but for this one I would count the Zookeepers as Z. But I'm going to put The Zookeeper's Wife on to my TBR. And I'm going to pick one more. 4 just feels really small, so we'll pick a 5th one for September. Okay, I think we just have one here. And it is a mystery book. I don't think I have very many mystery books, but I'm going to take a look. I think this is the only like true mystery book I have on my shelf. It is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, so we are going to add that to my September TBR. This is also a book I'm really excited to read. I bought it fairly recently, meaning I bought it in the last calendar year. So we're going to add that to my September TBR. Let's go over all of the books I picked for my September TBR, and we will wrap this up. Here is my TBR for September. My book club book is When Everyone Leaves, and that one's going to be actually read over a couple months, but I do have some that I need to read in September, so we'll set that to the side there. Title that starts with a vowel is Endurance by Scott Kelly. A fantasy book is Namesake by Adrienne Young. On a previous TBR, A Fall of Marigolds by Susan Messner. historical fiction, The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. And a mystery book is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. So there is my TBR for September. I'm also hoping to get to the rest of my August TBR, but we will see, and you'll see that in my August wrap up. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.